Now I already covered Scindapsus pictus and I covered a cultivar named Silver Ann, but I kind of wanted to go to the other end of the cultivar spectrum and highlight Scindapsus pictus Satin Jade, or Jade Satin, I think it's actually called, the cultivated name. And I had seen this in my market probably about 2.5, 3 years ago now. So I have several of these, probably 4, maybe even 5 of them in my house right now. And I picked them up and I was just like ogling over them because I love Scindapsus pictus. I think it's one of the most resilient plants. It's one of the few that are kind of growing in the interior of my space and still continue to grow. And one of those plants that could grow across a range of lighting. So I had some in full sun all the way over to, like I said, in the interior of my space. And this one is packed with chlorophyll. And you can actually see that this is the first time I saw this leaf just start to revert back with a little bit of silver, because typically these are just like pure midnight dark green, which is actually absolutely very beautiful. I can see that this one has a little bit more dust on it. I apologize for that, but this is kind of in one of my hanging basket ones, and I just actually need to probably take this in the shower and give it a good rinse. But very resilient plant. I love the leaf shape, of course, with this. You know, if it's Scindapsus pictus, it's probably going to be a shingler, so it would kind of flatten and press itself to a wall or a tree or whatever. But typically these are grown as hanging baskets, and that's how I'm actually growing it. This one has a little bit of sentimental value because I will show you here. This was actually done by my pet chicken Kippy, so she had eaten this when she was alive, and so there's like little sentimental bits of plant, you know, chicken memories in my house. You can see here, I'll also show you this new leaf coming in. You could see it's kind of like a nice limey green color, and you could see some of the, actually you could see just some of the patterning here, which is quite nice. You know, you could see how it's almost got this netted veination, if you will. So I'm actually growing this away from my light. A couple are actually growing in my green wall. These two are kind of growing in the interior of my space between my living room and my bedroom, and so they're kind of hanging down and cascading down beautifully. My experience is that they actually are a little bit more of a slower grower, and also slower to take root, believe it or not, in my opinion, compared to the regular Scindapsus pictus that doesn't really have like a cultivated variety. And because this is a cultivated variety, it doesn't have any kind of origin. So even though Scindapsus pictus has an origin, this doesn't have a native origin other than the fact that it's been cultivated in a greenhouse. Now, as far as fertilizer goes, you'll want to give this a little bit more on a bi-weekly basis during the growing season, and you might want to up that nitrogen level. So if you're going like a 20-10-10 or maybe a 2-1-1, because it'll give a little bit more greenness to the leaves, which is what you're probably trying to aim for with your Scindapsus, is nice, having like nice full foliage. And again, if you do want to actually propagate this, you'll see that this one has a little aerial root right here. So this is how they can, clamber on or cling on to something, but you could also take a cutting of this and that will root up very easily as well. I would stick a little bit more for the tip cuttings because that's going to be easier to take root if you focus on kind of the tips and the growing tips. But here's a little closer look at this plant. Again, Scindapsus pictus, really great in the home across a range of conditions and very pest resistant as well. So if you could find this cultivated variety, pick it up. It is so nice. Love the deepness of the color of the elevation of the leaves, but actually, unfortunately, after having seen this, I don't know, 3 years ago, I haven't seen it again. So hopefully it will come back in stock at a garden center or a plant shop near you.